Okay, everyone, thank you for joining us today to go over the multiple wish list gift registry. So let's get started. So why offer a wish list feature? There are many different possible uses for a wish list. To name a few, it provides customers a way to keep track of their personal wish lists. For example, books that they want to read, or wish lists that they can share with friends and family. Or create a wish list they want to purchase for others, like their children, spouse, friends, or it could be used as gift registries, weddings, birthdays, holidays, baby showers. It can also be used for donation book drives and book fairs. For example, teachers can create a wish list for each grade, or libraries can create a wish list for books they want or need. But most of the time, the stores do not have to get involved with a wish list at all. Customers can create and maintain their own wish list. However, it is important to provide the necessary information for customers to create a wish list, and we'll see an example of this. So the multiple wish list feature is not available by default. You'll have to request the feature be enabled. So to request the feature, you have to email staff@bookweb.org, or you can request it by going through your site to the features list, and we'll go there now. You would hover over Store, Configuration, Account Information Preferences, and Store Features. Now here on this page, all of the brand new amazing features are located at the top, and as you can see, one of them is multiple wish list gift registry. And here is the explanation description of what it is. To enable it, you can see under enable this feature. If it has not already been enabled, you would be able to put a check mark there and scroll all the way to the bottom. And I will go there and click on Send Request to ABA. What that does is send a request to staff@bookweb.org, and one of us will respond by enabling the feature for you and send any instructions if we have them from our help center. Okay, so let me just go back to the home page for a second here. Once activated, you'll see the Add to Wishlist button will appear next to the Add to Cart button on book product pages. For example, on this book product page, you'll see the Add to Wishlist button. It will also appear on a book list. For example, here is a book from a book list, and as you can see, the Add to Wishlist button is here, as well as search result pages. And I'm going to go there. And when you search for an item, a wish list can be added directly through the search result page as well. So wherever there is an Add to Cart button, there can be an Add to Wish List button. Now, we did mention the benefits of having a wish list feature, but specifically, what can a multiple wish list be used for? Customers may want to have more than one wish list. Teachers or schools with different grades may want to create a wish list for each grade. You or someone may want to create a wish list for different events, such as a birthday, wedding, a Christmas, holiday. Or if you have a personal list versus a list that you want to share with someone. And parents with multiple kids may also want to have a list for each child. So those are just some of the things that the multiple wish list can be used for. Now that the feature has been activated, there are some initial setup that store admins can do on the site. For example, admins can choose which product classes are allowed to be added to a wish list through the wish list setting. So let's take a look at that setting. So Store, Configuration, and the wish list setting is all the way at the bottom. So I'm just going to click on it here. And then you see here product classes allowed in wish lists. You select that, and you'll see all of the options that are available through that the wish list can be added to. For example, here I have already unchecked event ticket, so the wish list button will not appear on my event ticket. But I have all the other product classes here, and I'm just going to keep them the same way, the way it is. So let's just take a look at this event ticket just for a second to see that the wish list isn't there. Let me just go here. I'm going to click on this one. And I don't want to have a the wish list here because it will expire soon. It's an event that will happen in a few days. So you can see here, there's no add to wish list button, even though there is an add to cart button. And the add to wish list is still available for other items, such as this book product. So let's say I wanted to add it back. I would just go back to our setting. And then I will save it. Go back to our event ticket. And now we have the add to wish list button there. So store admins should check this page and make sure the right product classes are enabled for the wish list. Now, there are other things that store admins can do. For example, store admins can set up links and information about wish lists and gift registries. So we're going to see an example of that. For example, I created here in the main menu a wish list menu item, and I've created these pages for the wish list. And when I said in the beginning that we should create a page where customers know how to add to a wish list or give them information on how to use a wish list, this is where I would put it underneath a menu item. So in here is creating a wish list page. For example, on this page, it tells you how to add items to your wish list, settings for your wish list, which we'll go over in a little bit, how to edit your wish list, email. So everything here is available. All the information is available for your customers to see when they come if they wish to create a wish list. And I also have another one for schools and libraries as well. And of course, the explanation for schools and libraries are a little bit different than the one for regular customers. And however, the settings and how to edit or email is the same. And also, I put a link here, but I also want to put a link at the bottom of the menu. So make sure that you have a link at the top and at the bottom so customers can easily find the wish list instructions. Now, when you first enable a wish list, it comes with a couple of things. It comes with a wish list search block. So you should enable that wish list search block and place it in a location that looks appropriate on your site. So for example, I would go to Structured Blocks. The block I'll find is called, it should be under the Disable section in your block. It's called Find a Wish List. So what I will do is I will enable that for a region on my site. And right now, the area that I want it to go is the sidebar second. So I'll do that. And then I'll save. Oops, then I'll go back out to my home page, and I should see that now there is a wish list block for customers to search for wish lists. There is also a page that is available, and a link can be added to that page in the main menu section. And that link, I would just add it to the menu section here. Go to main menu. And I've already added it, but disabled it for this purpose. It's called Find a Wish List, and we'll go into see the path for it. I would just create it and call it Find a Wish List, add the path, made sure the parent link was wish list, and I would save it. Let's see. I have to enable it. Save. So let's go back to the home page to find that link. And here you see that the Find a Wish List is now available here, and customers can also find it and they can search a wish list if they want to. Okay, so now that we have taken care of some of the administration stuff in the beginning, so how to create a wish list as a regular customer. So as a customer coming in, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to another screen here. And I am not logged into this site. So what I want to do is I want to add a wish list as a regular customer. What do? I click on it. Click on a book that I want. Click on add a wish list. As you can see, I cannot add to a wish list unless I am logged in. So only logged in customers can add to a wish list. So let's log in. Okay, now that I've logged in, I double check here. I have a logout button. I'm going to click add a wish list, and here I go. I have already created a couple wish lists here. But as you can see, I get a pop-up window asking me either if I want to create a wish list or if I wanted to add this item to a current wish list that I already have. So I'm going to create a new wish list, and I'm going to call this a birthday wish list. And I'm going to submit. Now you see birthday updated successfully. I'm going to click OK. Once that happens, you'll see at the top right here, there is a link to take you to your wish list. And that means it's been added successfully to your wish list. Now the customer can create more than one wish list as well. So I can go, as you can already see, I already have multiple wish lists there. But one other thing that's interesting about wish lists, and I'm just going to add this book to it. I can add a wish list. I can add a book to multiple wish lists if I wanted to. And it says new title updated successfully, birthday updated successfully, and I'll say OK. And then if I go back to the top here, it's been added to my wish list. So I'm going to click on that to take me to one of my wish lists. And here is my birthday wish list, as you can see. Now I can access it directly through that link in the top, but I can also access my wish list through my account tab here. For example, you will see a tab for your account called wish list. Click on that. And this will display all the wish lists that you have. And from this page, you can also create, well, you can add from this page actually other SKUs or books that you want to add to a particular wish list. You can add it directly here, and you can select a wish list where you can add books to. Let me just copy this. This belongs to my personal wish list. Let's say I wanted to add it to my birthday wish list. I can do that, and I'm going to add the title there. I'm going to save. So you can see that it's been added up the top, all that. And then I'll just go straight to my birthday wish list, and then I'll see the 2 books that I've just added as well.
What Shanti mentioned right now is actually the bulk upload of wish list. I think we will cover that again later.
Yes, okay. When I go through the configuration of the wish list. So now that we're here, the owner of the wish list can then configure the wish list, right? So here it is. You can configure it here. So let's take a look at this wish list here. So there's a shareable link at the top. And if someone wanted to, the customer wanted to send an email outside of this wish list, clicking on the share link will copy it to a clipboard, and it can be used somewhere else. And from this wish list, I can also adjust the number of quantities needed. For example, let's say I wanted 2 copies of this because I want to give one away. I would just change it to 2 there, and I would update the wish list. And I come back, and there's 2 copies here for this, and I can see it on my wish list. But I'd have to go back to my wish list in order to finish configuring it. And I can also remove books from here as well. So this is what a regular customer would see. And if you scroll down a little bit, they can also see the online purchases, how many were purchased, and they can also see the in-store purchases. And this is actually edited by the store admin. Of course, they also have the option of purchasing it themselves directly through this Add to Cart button here. Any change that you make to the top here, you must select Update Wishlist here to make it go into effect. And then, of course, the list of books here can also be downloaded if you click on this button here. And as you can see, it prompts me to open an Excel spreadsheet, and this will display all of this wish list on the spreadsheet. So I'm just going to cancel that out. And here you can adjust the title as well. If you don't want just to call it birthday, I can just change it to Shanti's birthday wish. And this is the name, and I know my account name is Shanti1, and I don't want it to be called that. I would just delete the 1, so it's just be my name. And you'll see there's an expiration date as well, and this field is required. You can change it to another date if you wanted it to expire a little later, but remember that expired wish list will not appear in search, a wish list search, and links to the wish list will say that it has expired. So if someone found or has an old wish list link that expired already and they try to access that wish list again, they'll see a message saying, sorry, this wish list has expired. And of course, they can hide the expiration date as well. Sometimes you don't really need that to show. You can make it private, and private wish lists will not be able to be found in wish list search either.
And the main difference here between the expired and the private is you can still email the private wish list to your friends and family.
Yes, yes.
But expired will not work.
Yeah, so private wish list, whoever gets the link will be able to still see it, but they have to get it from you. And also, this is a popular request that we have here, mostly used by stores that work with book fairs or libraries, and it's the do not ship items from this wish list. If this is selected, the order will tell the admin that it comes from this particular wish list and not to ship it. So this will be reflected on the order page. And if there is a book in the order that is not part of here, it will not be shippable. But if all the items are from this wish list, the whole order will be non-shippable. Okay, in the notes section here, this is a great area where schools and libraries or even a regular customer can put a message here. You can put these are books I love. And when I add a message here, well, you can see I'm going to save it. You'll see it'll appear on the top along with the expiration date. So all messages that go here that are added in the notes section will appear at the top. So this is very useful for adding messages. for your wish list or instructions on how to deliver a wish list.
There is a related question here, so I'm just going to have the
sure.
question. It's about why, this is from John. It's about the expiration date. So if wishlist has expired, is there a way to retrieve it? If not, why is there an expiration date? The expiration date is useful when a wish list is used by the store or like a school for an event. So recently we had a school that was working with a bookstore and they had an author event at the school. So they created a wish list and they distributed it with among the parents, and they had a deadline before which parents were allowed to purchase of that wish list. So in cases like that, the expiration date is very helpful. So beyond that date, parents cannot go online and order those books. But the owner of the wish list and any store staff that has access to the site can retrieve these items. Let's say the school wants a list of all the titles from that wish list beyond the expiration date for their own records. They can still download it. The owner can always see it. It is only that if someone searches for the wish list on the website, they will not be able to find it past the expiration date.
Okay, great.
And the same thing kind of also applies for the notes section. I think we find that being mostly useful when schools use it. Recently, we had Bank Square Books do a program with the local library, and the library added some notes, some information about the book drive that they were doing. And whatever they enter in the notes section will appear on top of the wish list, so customers know exactly what the purpose of that list is.
And also in the notes field, it can take HTML code if you really wanted to, and if you know how to use the code. For example, I can bold this text right now. As you can see, the text is now bolded. So if you are familiar with a little bit HTML, you can use it, or you can just add it to your WYSIWYG editor, any notes that you want to, and just click on the source code from your WYSIWYG editor on your site and just paste it in there and it'll show up. Okay, and here you go, and here you can send emails out to the recipients of this wish list, and we recommend only 10 email addresses at a time, separated by commas. You can also create a subject of the email, and you can create a personal message here as well.
And Shanti, just want to mention that the link to the wish list will be automatically appended to the end of that message. Whatever the custom message is there, the link will always be appended at the bottom of that. So the recipients will have a link to get back to the wish list.
Yes. When you send a message through this particular, through the wish list itself, the link to the wish list will always be in the email. Of course, we have a CAPTCHA here.
Yeah, recently we had a store that got a lot of spam wish list submissions. It was a spam that was creating a lot of wish lists on the site. So we were forced to actually add that CAPTCHA for the wish list form also.
Okay, and down here, of course, is the bulk upload feature. You can add ISBNs all at once here. And if you do that, it will automatically be added to your wish list.
And if you're familiar with the bulk upload for the staff pages, this works exactly the same way. Any ISBNs, the order in which they are added will be added to the wish list. But if you want different quantities, then you'll have to go in and update that, as Shanti showed above in the setting form. The quantities, you'll have to update them manually. This just adds one copy of the title to the wish list. Yes.
Yes, when you add it down there, all of the books will appear on this wish list here. on the top there. Okay, so that's all of the components and settings of your wish list there. So now, what do you do when, what do customers do when they receive this wish list from you? So let's go take a look at ordering from a wish list by a regular customer. So I am going to actually log out of here for a moment. And of course, I will find a wish list. Let's see, we added it. Let's go here. I am going to use this handy feature to find a particular wish list. I'm going to search. And I see a whole bunch of wish lists here. So let's look at this. So I'm just going to copy this wish list and go here, and so that we can see what a customer sees when they visit a wish list. Okay, so here's a wish list, let's say, that was emailed to someone and they visited the page. The customer only sees the title. They'll see any message that you put down in a note section and the expiration date if you didn't hide it in the settings. And they only see the wanted and, of course, the add to cart, which is the important one, right? So if they added this to the cart, they will see that it says from a wish list. And once a wish list is purchased, so if you go through checkout and you finish purchasing from a wish list, they'll get a fulfillment. Like for right here, it'll say, it will say fulfilled. So let's add this to the cart and we'll just go through it quickly. Okay, so I'm going to do a pay at store option just so that we can see what happens. Cart. You can see that it's still here on the review screen. There's the wish list. And I'm going to submit the order. Okay, so now that I've finished this, I'm going to go back to our wish list. And you can see that it's fulfilled. So that when a customer visits this wish list page, they'll know that they no longer can purchase this book. And what store admins will see is they will also see the same link to the wish list on the orders view page. So let's go to check to see this order that we just placed. So here's the order. So on the order view page for admins, they will also see the link that is from a wish list as well. And the customers will also get an invoice. And on that invoice, it will also list that this book came from a wish list. So there are several locations indicating that this book was purchased from a wish list. Okay.
Shanti, can you quickly go to the store admin view for this
wish
list? No, the wish list itself, not the order. Yeah, so this is what the store admin says. It is slightly different from what the customer says. It's more information here, as Shanti pointed out, all the settings. But here, if you go down to the title, it'll again say it's fulfilled. The Goodnight Moon, which was bought by the customer, was fulfilled. And you'll see, actually, the online purchase should say one. Okay. Sometimes when Schools, again, it works when there's a school or if it's a gift registry for a birthday party that is happening at the store and the customer creates a list for that. The recipients of the wish list may not purchase it online. They might actually walk into the store and then purchase it at the store. They may bring the wish list and say that they want to purchase something off that and leave it at the store for the birthday party or for the school. In that case, the store admin can go in and then adjust the quantity using this screen. And then when you save it, it again indicates the title as being fulfilled. So this takes care of both online purchase and the in-store purchase. So the in-store purchase column is mainly for the store staff to manage wish lists.
Okay, perfect. And another thing also, if there is an item that was purchased from a non-shippable wish list, you will see, and now I have an order example here, you will see do not ship. If you selected the do not ship box, or if the customer selected do not ship box. Of course, this is useful for book drives and libraries or for donations. Okay, so now that we've placed orders and there are orders for wish lists coming in, you may want to look at reports, and there are also other things that can be done by store admins. For example, viewing reports of the wish list, or creating views and rules, as well as changing the URL alias of the wish list itself, and we'll go over those in a little bit. So the first thing is to see a view of all the wish lists. Store admins can go to Store, Customers, and here is the wish list link. As you can see, this store has lots of wish lists. And on this page itself, you'll see the list of wish lists. You'll see it has an expiration date. If it's expired, has a date here. If it is private or not private, and some of these are not private, but this particular wish list is private. If it is shippable or non-shippable, so most of these are shippable, but if it's non-shippable, it'll say no here. This is a great place for stores just to come in and glance at all the wish lists that they have on the site, or if they're looking for a particular one, this is a great place to come in. You can also delete the wish list once you no longer want it. For example, if you create a bunch of wish lists for schools, you can delete it. Or if a customer email say, you know what, I have a wish list on your site and I don't want it there anymore, can you come and delete it? You can also come and delete it here. And of course, you can also export directly from this page. For example, if I export here, it'll download a CSV file that I can open in Excel. And of course, my Excel just opened. And you can see all the books on that wish list. So I'm just going to X out of here. Oops. Let's go back here. Okay, so now that we have all of that, let's talk about some rules. So you can create rules to restrict payment methods by wish lists, or you can create a rule to display a message at the end of checkout as well. This is, if you guys have heard of rules before, it's a great nifty way of adding features to your site and messages. You can also add a coupon to work with your wish list as well.
I think we won't be going too much into the rules. It is just to say that each wish list has an ID. And since it has an ID, you can use that ID to create conditions on your checkout process. You can, if there is an item that was purchased from a wish list, you can have a special email sent out. So having that ID and being able to control it using the the rules feature on your site, you can do a lot of fancy things with it. So we won't get into the details of how to create rules. We can have a special webinar for that. But it's just here to say that you can generate lots of reports and you can control checkout because each wish list has its own ID and that can be pulled into the rules.
Exactly. And also you can use create views. I mean, you can use views to create a report for your wish list as well. So I have an example of what one looks like. So right here, I created an admin tool block for myself. And right here is a wish list report. Is a view that I created to find you can view it by wish list or you can view it by SKU. Now I'm just going to grab a couple of SKUs here, go back here. Now by entering this SKU, it tells me that this particular book appeared in a couple of wish lists, and here's the order number for the order for this particular wish list, and the order email, the email of the person who purchased it, the quantity, and the number sold. I even added the SKU in the title here. So let's say I wanted to just look at Michaela's birthday. So I would just put hers there. Let's see. So if I knew the title and I could search directly by title, I would do this. And this wish list will show me all of the titles from Michaela's wish list and all the ones that have been purchased all on one page and all the orders on this particular page. So it's very useful. And one other thing that I want to go before we leave here is the shareable link at the top of the wish list that we had seen. Now, a regular customer can't do much with that, but a store admin can actually change this link if they want to make it more descriptive. And you can change that link by using the URL alias. So, for example, you want to go here, right here, URL aliases, and I can add an alias. For example, I don't like that the generic name, so I would do that, and I would just go and call it, this is Jackie's list. And then I would save it. And if I go back to Jackie's list, let me just go back home, back out. I'm just going to backspace so it makes it quicker. Now you can see here, this now changes Jackie's list. And this is a much easier URL to read, and is much more descriptive. And this is very useful if you're doing a book drive. You can call it, Montgomery Book Drive, or you can call it a nonprofit book drive name, makes it more descriptive. And click this, and you can email this particular link, put in a newsletter. You can use it in various different ways. Okay, so now all of the instructions for the wish list can be found on bookweb.org, and you would just have to go to BookWeb. You would go to For Booksellers, IndieCommerce Help Center. You would search for wish list. Here, you click on that, and then you'll see we do have instructions on how to use the wish list.
Okay, we have a couple of questions. Let's take that now. So this question is about how to delete wish list. How will a book be deleted from a wish list after someone purchases it, like for a baby shower? So others, clear to others not to purchase that same. Yes, so it does not delete it from the wish list because we assume that the person who created it will want to keep it on the wish list, but the add to cart button is replaced by a fulfilled text there. So once an item has been purchased from a wish list, it changes. The add to cart button is removed, so someone else cannot purchase that wish list. We didn't want to remove it or delete it because I'm sure the owner of the wish list wants to keep it. So I think that is, and also the shareable link, that is a great feature. As a store admin, you have the access to do it. Mostly with wish lists, it's a lot to do with your customers and a little to do with the stores. But the main purpose of this demo was for the stores to understand what can be done with the wish list feature that is available on your websites so that you can help your customers create wish lists, or you can answer your customers if they have questions. And recently, the last couple of months, most of the features that you're seeing now were upgraded features in the last few months since the holidays. And this is based on feedback that we got from our members, because they've started using this extensively to work with libraries and schools and birthday parties. And it has been a success for a lot of our members. So what you see here is mostly like, if it's a school or a library, you can go in and create that URL. You can remove that wishlist /number and then create your own custom URL. So that helps. And again, the in-store purchase versus the online purchase, that again helps if it is something that it's a list for an organization that you want to take orders online and in-store. And also the do not ship, that comes in very handy if you're working with an organization, like again with the Bank Square books, they were working with the library. So the library did not want the books shipped to them. They wanted the store to take the orders and keep the book at the store so that the library would send somebody to pick it up on a certain date. So in that case, the store can mark it as non-shippable. So when the customers go through checkout, they don't have to enter a shipping address. They don't have to select any shipping method because it is treated as non-shippable. The store gets the order. The store staff who is processing the order sees that clear indication below the title not to ship the book, to contact the owner of the wish list. There is always a link to the wish list in all the ordered items, which means the store staff has all the necessary information to look up on that wish list and take the proper actions. So most of the features that we developed were based on feedback, excellent feedback, very useful feedback that we got from our members. So we appreciate all the feedback, and we continue to request more feedback from stores. And if you don't have this, please enable it. Let us know if you want it. We can enable it for you. And any feedback that you have after you started using it, please send it our way. And we are always looking for feedback so that we can upgrade our features. And I think we have another question. Can store admins be alerted when wish lists are created? That is a good question. There is no way to alert a store admin. But again, Shanti showed a page where you can go look at all the wish list on your site. That is one way to do it. But I think we may have to, let's take a look at it. This is a good question. And let me take a look at it, because each wish list, as I said, has a wish list ID. And there are rules associated with it. So maybe we can trigger an email using that wish list ID. That is something.
Also, yeah. Store staff do have it. Well, they get an email notification, and it's indicated that the order was placed from a wish list.
No, I think Caitlin is asking if when someone creates a wish list, if the store can be notified of it.
Creating a wish
list. Yeah, we haven't tried that, but that's a good question. We will look into it definitely. And the next question is, when a wish list allows for shipping, will it ship to the owner of the wish list? It is whatever the shipping address is on the order. So if there is a recipient who created if there's a customer who created the wish list, we are sharing it with your friends and family. The friends and family should know who they should ship it to. So they have to make sure that the person who created the wish list actually gets the book. So it is to the shipping address that is associated with that order. For now, that is how it's working.
But also the person who created the wish list can also add the address into the notes section as well. Please ship to this address.
Yes, they can. Yeah. Yes, that is a good point. They can add it to the notes section. This wish list feature actually originally it came with an option where the person who is purchasing of a wish list can actually ship it to that address directly. But there was some security implications there, because we didn't want somebody's address being auto-fulfilled on an order, because wish list can be searched on the website. So we didn't want some random customer finding a wish list and then auto-fulfill it. And if the wish list auto-fulfills the address fields, then that can get
and everyone would know your address.
So we removed that feature on purpose based on feedback that we got a while ago. That was more than a year ago. But the notes section is a good place to put. And also the customers who are not sharing it in public, they can make it private and just share the link with their friends and family. That way no one can search for the wish list on the website.
And of course, as a store admin, what you guys should also do is when you're creating the instructions for your customers, you can also add that here. Please indicate your address or whatever you feel that you think is needed for your customer for when they create a wish list.
So the next question is, when searching for a wish list via keyword, does that mean books in a wish list or a keyword in a wish list title? Like my birthday wish list. It would be the keyword in the wish list title. Yes, it would be the keyword. And again, this searching is something that has to be handled carefully, because if customers are creating personal wish lists, they should mark it as private so that people cannot search for it. Again, this comes in handy if you're working with an organization and they don't want more people to find their wish list on the website. Then there it comes in very handy to be able to search. But for a personal wish list, they should mark it as private so it doesn't show up. But as it is by the keyword on the wish list title.
Right, and it will display all of the wish lists with that keyword. For example, I typed in birthday, and you can see there are 2 non-private birthday wish lists that are available.
Okay, I think we are just in time to finish this up. Again, if you have any questions, this session was recorded and we will post it on the IndieCommerce Webinar Center like early next week. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write to us. Write to staff@bookweb.org. If you don't have the feature enabled, you can you can either go to the features page on your website and automatically send us an email, or you can write to staff@bookweb.org. And I think we have covered most of it. And thank you, Shanti. That was a great presentation. And this is we wanted to do a live demo to give you all the information that you need so that you can use this feature effectively. And on behalf of the IndieCommerce team and Shanti and myself, thank you very much for joining us today. And we do have another one in 2 weeks, same time. It is about how to customize your order confirmation emails to your customers. Again, that was a feature that many of our members wanted, and we finally got it done. So it is 2 weeks from today, same time. Thank you.